Doug Freeth was an outstanding pitcher in junior and senior baseball in Winnipeg. He was described as a 6'5" power pitcher during his career. Doug, before you came to prominence pitching for St. Boniface Legionnaires in the Manitoba Junior Baseball League, what was your minor baseball record?
Record exactly, who knows, but I started to play when I was 5 years old. I think they called it Red Caps back there, and Little League, Colt, Pony, and junior, and then senior, and with the little side trips to Edmonton and a couple of trips to out in the country to Souris, Toulon. So you
had an extensive minor league,
exactly,
minor baseball record too. In 1973, you pitched for Team Manitoba in the Canada Summer Games, and you were credited with 15 shutout innings in that tournament. I'm sure that ranks as a personal highlight for you.
I think it's probably the highlight for me. I think we, to get into the medal round, we had to beat Nova Scotia or New Brunswick, I forget now. I think I pitched 9 innings, so 1-0. We beat them, and then the final against BC, the gold medal game, we were down 3-2. We pulled our starter, and I think I pitched the last 6 innings of that shutout ball. We didn't win, but we got the silver, and I think that's probably the highlight of my Manitoba career.
For 6 years, you pitched in senior ball with St. Boniface Native Sons, Souris Cardinals, and the Toulon Cardinals. What stands out for you in that period?
I think just the people I was playing with. I think by the time I was playing in Souris, my arm was on its way out, but I just enjoyed the Kirkup family and all the people the McAvoys and everybody. There's a certain difference with playing with country people that will always be very special to me. I had a great time in Souris, and Toulon, the same thing. Just my teammates had a great time.
Not to take anything away from St. Boniface.
Nothing. No. That was really my home team.
In junior, how about the night you pitched a one-hitter and struck out 10 in blanking Earl Grey 7-0?
Yeah, I remember some of those games very well. I remember that game. There was also a few more games like that stand out for me. I just enjoyed pitching and maybe being in the limelight, having the ball. That was fun.
In 1974, you had a season pitching for the Edmonton Trappers. In what league was that?
At the time, Edmonton, I think, was prior to that they were a AAA team, but this was not a AAA team. This was what one could consider a rookie league.
Okay.
And it was my first taste of playing against Americans. We played against Calgary Cannons and a number of other Western teams, and then I learned then that you can't just blow it by people. You've got to think. You got to, and to be a good pitcher, you got to be able to think and mix things up and
throw to the right spots.
Throw to the right spots and change speeds, and otherwise they'll take you deep, and they did. I learned.
After your pitching days were over, did you think about coaching or some other activity in baseball?
I did. Actually, after my pitching days were over, I went to Europe and played basketball for a few years and lived there for 4 years. And when I came back, I was coaching very little kids in something called Learn to Play. It's a special baseball sort of introduction for young kids, and really enjoyed that. I did that for 2 years. And then they dropped the program. So that's the extent of my baseball coaching. I was much more of a player than a coach.
Was there a pitcher or a manager who had an influence on your play?
I think all the managers that I played for, they just basically gave me the ball and said, go throw, go pitch. But I think some people in my life that had a huge influence on me were people like Gene Walker and Jerry Olchina, who are good friends of mine. Gene passed away last year, but Gene spent hours with me. He was my math teacher in high school. He spent hours with me showing me the tricks of the trade. He pitched for St. Louis Cardinals in the minor leagues for a few years, and I think he made it to AAA. But he was a good man and a good guy, and he taught me some pitches that I never really used effectively, but he tried. He tried his best.
He was a great pitcher in his own right.
In his own right, a
And,
great athlete.
I remember umpiring when he was playing junior,
Yeah.
so and he was something special.
Good volleyball player, good curler.
Do you have a favorite major league team or a player, past or present?
Yeah, I used to like watching Roger Clemens, and my favorite team, I guess, would have to be the Blue Jays. Yeah, I think I'm
You're still a Blue Jay fan.
still a Blue Jay fan, despite what's happening this year. But they've had some good runs, and but I'm it's always of interest to me to watch. Things have changed though in the big leagues. It's not quite like it used to be. It's a much more refined game. Lots of I forget what they call it now, but it seems like pitchers don't pitch full games anymore.
That's right. 6 innings, maybe 7.
6 innings, and maybe, and then they got the bullpens to come in, and
They got a setup man, they got a closer, etc.
it's the game is a bit more complicated than it used to be.
Any regrets as you look back on your career?
I think the only I don't have any regrets. I thoroughly enjoyed my 2 major sports that I played. I think baseball was much more fun.
Disappointments then?
I think that I didn't learn how to pitch as opposed to just throwing. I think I was I could.
You were a power pitcher.
I was a power pitcher. I had a couple of pitches, but I think my only regret, or it was just that I didn't take the time to maybe learn the finer points of the game.
You must have a feeling of satisfaction about being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely, I'm honored. I know some of my very good friends are in the hall, and I'm honored and blessed to be a part of it.
Doug Freeth of Winnipeg, now a member of the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame.